Hello and welcome back to our channel, where we dive deep into the fascinating world of rare coins, valuable currency, and hidden treasures hiding in your pocket change. If you're a coin collector, history lover, or just curious about the real worth of old coins, then you're in the right place. Today, we're going to explore the intriguing story behind the Liberty 1-cent coin from the year 1994 with the Denver Mint mark, also known as the 1994 D Lincoln cent. This coin might look ordinary to many, but there's so much more than meets the eye. From its historical background to its mintage, special errors, and current market value, we'll uncover everything you need to know. So, grab a cup of tea and get comfortable, because the 1994 D penny might just surprise you with its hidden value. Let's begin by stepping back in time to understand the origins of the Liberty 1-cent coin. More commonly known today as the Lincoln cent, the Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it became the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, the 16th President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln, on its obverse side. By 1994, the Lincoln cent had already been in circulation for 85 years. The reverse design at the time featured the Lincoln Memorial, which had replaced the original wheat ears back in 1959, marking Lincoln's 150th birthday. That reverse design, created by Frank Gasparo, was in use until 2008. The 1994 D coin was struck at the Denver Mint, and the small D mint mark below the date on the obverse side of the coin identifies it. During this era, the coins were made of copper-plated zinc, 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper, which had replaced the original bronze composition back in 1982 due to rising copper costs. Now let's talk about how many of these coins were actually produced. The U.S. Mint in Denver struck a staggering 7,131,765,000 Lincoln cents in 1994. That's over 7 billion coins, which means the 1994 D penny is not considered rare based on mintage alone. These coins were made for general circulation, so most people at that time would have come across one in their daily change without giving it much thought. However, even though billions were made, many have been worn down through decades of use, while others may have been lost, damaged, or melted down. This makes high-quality and well-preserved coins more difficult to find today, and that's where collectors start to pay close attention. Let's now look at the coin's value and what makes it potentially valuable today. In circulated condition, a typical 1994 D penny is worth face value, just 1 cent. However, when we consider mint state coins, those that are uncirculated and have no wear, the value starts to rise. In grades like MS65 and above, which represent coins with strong luster, sharp details, and few contact marks, a 1994 D Lincoln cent can sell for $1 to $5, depending on quality and market demand, but it doesn't stop there. In MS67 red, which is a nearly flawless coin with brilliant red luster, the value can shoot up to $30 or more. And if a coin is certified by a trusted grading company like PCGS or NGC with an ultra-high grade and pristine eye appeal, it can even sell for upwards of $100 in auctions. In fact, one example of a 1994 D Lincoln cent graded MS68 red by PCGS sold for over $250, making it a very attractive find for collectors. Now here's where things get really exciting, the rare errors. Even though billions of 1994 D pennies were minted, only a few have been found with special error varieties, and those are worth far more than their face value. Some notable errors to look out for include double die obverse, DDO. This error shows doubling on the lettering or date on the front of the coin. If you spot a DDO on a 1994 D penny, it could be worth $50 to several $100s depending on condition. Off-center strikes. Coins struck off-center can vary in value depending on how much of the design is missing. A 1994 D penny with a 50% off-center strike might fetch $100 or more. Clipped planchets, BIE errors, and struck-through grease errors are also collectible, and their value ranges from $10 to $75, sometimes even more. So always check your pennies carefully. A small mistake at the mint could mean a big profit for you. So what's the bottom line? Is the 1994 D Liberty 1-cent coin valuable? In general, if you have a worn-out 1994 D penny from your pocket change, it's probably only worth a cent. But if you have a well-preserved example in mint condition, especially one with a rare error or certified high grade, it could be worth much more. From a few dollars to even hundreds in the right market, collectors are always on the hunt for high-grade, red color coins from the 90s, and as time goes on, the number of pristine examples naturally decreases, driving up value. So holding on to that shiny 1994 D penny might just pay off in the future. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins, valuable pennies, and hidden treasures in your change, don't forget to like fascinating details and the surprising value of a very common yet special coin, the Liberty 1 cent from the year 1996. Yes, that small copper-colored coin you might have in your old wallet or tucked away in a drawer could be more valuable than you think. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into the world of the 1996 Liberty 1 cent coin, its origin, mintage, rare varieties, and the real market value today. Let's begin with the design of the coin. The obverse, or front, of the 1996 Liberty 1 cent coin features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. This design has been in use since 1909, marking the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. The word Liberty appears boldly on the left side, while the mint year 1996 is struck to the right of Lincoln, with the mint mark just below the date, depending on where it was minted. Now speaking of mints, the 1996 Liberty cent was produced at 3 major United States mint locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia mint coins have no mint mark, the Denver mint coins bear a D, and San Francisco mint coins used the S mark. But remember, most of the S-marked coins were proof coins, specially made for collectors. Let's talk numbers. And this is where things get really interesting. In 1996, the US Mint produced an enormous number of 1 cent coins. Over 6.6 billion were minted in Philadelphia, nearly 6.5 billion were struck in Denver, around 2.1 million proof coins were minted in San Francisco with a total mintage of over 13 billion. The 1996 Liberty 1 cent is one of the most heavily produced pennies of the modern era. But that doesn't mean yours is worthless. Some of these coins are hiding incredible value. So what makes a 1996 penny valuable? The answer lies in rarity, condition, and mint errors. Let's start with errors. Certain 1996 pennies come with fascinating mistakes made during the minting process. These errors are highly prized by collectors. Some of the most valuable error types include double die obverse, DDO, where parts of the design, like Liberty or Lincoln's eye, appear double. Off-center strikes, where the design is not properly aligned, clipped planchets, where a part of the coin is literally missing in a crescent shape, die cracks, visible raised lines from a broken die. A standard 1996 penny might only be worth its face value, but a 1996 Lincoln cent with a strong double die error can fetch $100 to $250, depending on its condition. An off-center error of 50% or more with full date visible can go from $50 up to $300 in auctions. Now let's talk about coin condition, also known as coin grading. Coins are graded from poor all the way to mint state, MS. A 1996 penny in circulated condition usually sells for around 1 to 5 cents. But in uncirculated mint state, especially grades MS65 and above, these coins can go for $10 to $30. If you're lucky enough to find a 1996 D penny in MS67 red, it could sell for $100 or more. The red designation means the coin has retained its original copper red color without toning or wear. And now, let's take a look at the coin's composition. Since 1982, the US Mint changed the penny's metal content from 95% copper to a much cheaper composition, 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper plating. This means the 1996 penny is mostly zinc, making it weigh 2.5 grams instead of the old 3.11 grams. This lightweight composition makes it easy to distinguish from older, heavier copper coins. But beyond metal and numbers, the 1996 Liberty 1 cent is a symbol of American history. It's a reminder of Lincoln's legacy, of economic simplicity, and of how even the smallest coin can carry historical and collectible value. So what should you do if you find one of these coins in your pocket change? First, don't spend it. Examine it closely. Look for unusual errors. Check its color, its shine, its details. You might be holding a miniature treasure that thousands of collectors are searching for. In the current coin market, online platforms like eBay, heritage auctions, and coin dealer sites show that 1996 pennies with errors or high grades have sold for anywhere from $10 to $500, depending on rarity and demand. Proof coins with deep cameo contrast from San Francisco can also command premium prices, especially if they're graded PR69 or PR70 by PCGS or NGC.so. There you have it, the story of the 1996 Liberty 1 cent coin. A coin that most people overlook, but those who look closely might find more than just a cent. They might find history, art, and even fortune. If you found this video informative, don't forget to hit the like. Credible story, hidden value, and collector's interest behind the Liberty 1 cent 2001 D Lincoln penny. You'll be surprised to know how this small copper-plated coin can carry a big historical and monetary significance. Let's begin. The Liberty 1 cent coin minted in the year 2001 with the D Mint mark represents not just a tiny piece of copper-plated zinc, it is a living artifact of America's ongoing numismatic legacy. The D stands for the Denver Mint, one of the key facilities of the U.S. Mint system, known for its massive coin production. Now let's rewind the clock a bit and look at the background of this coin. The Lincoln Cent series began way back in 1909, commemorating the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, this was the first American coin to feature a real person, and since then, Lincoln's portrait has remained on the obverse side. In 1959, the reverse of the coin was redesigned to feature the Lincoln Memorial, replacing the earlier wheat ears design. That memorial design continued until 2008, making the 2001 D penny a part of the Lincoln Memorial Cent series, a beloved era for collectors. Now, coming specifically to the 2001 D penny, this coin was minted in huge numbers. According to official records, the Denver Mint struck a staggering total of 5,374,065,000 coins in that year. That's right, over 5 billion Lincoln cents in just one mint location. This massive circulation makes it a common coin for the average person, but not all 2001 D pennies are created equal. Let's take a closer look at the design of this coin. The obverse side, or the front of the coin, features the classic right-facing bust of Abraham Lincoln. Above him, we see the word Liberty and to the right, the year 2001, followed by the D Mint mark just below the date. Above Lincoln's head, you'll find the motto, "In God We Trust," a consistent feature since 1909. Flip the coin over, and you'll see the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo. If you look closely, you can actually see a tiny statue of Lincoln seated inside the memorial, a remarkable detail for such a small coin. Around the top, the phrase "United States of America" is inscribed, while the bottom reads 1 cent. Just above the building lies the national motto "E pluribus unum," which means out of many, one. So now you might be asking, if it's so common, does it even have value? Well, here's where it gets exciting. In regular, circulated condition, the 2001 D Liberty 1 cent typically holds a face value of just 1 cent. However, collectors pay close attention to condition, rarity, and errors. If you have a mint state coin, graded MS65 or higher, it can fetch around $1 to $5 from collectors. That's already a decent jump from its face value, but now let's talk about error coins. This is where things get truly interesting. Some 2001 D pennies have been found with die cracks, off-center strikes, doubling, or plating bubbles. These error coins are extremely popular among collectors and can command much higher prices. Depending on the type of error and condition of the coin, some have sold for $50, $100, and even over $300 in online auctions and private sales. One well-preserved 2001 D penny with a major minting error once fetched over $500, simply because of its rarity and uniqueness. If you're holding a shiny 2001 D penny that looks flawless or unusual, it might be worth getting it graded by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. Coins that receive a MS67 or higher grade can significantly increase in value and are always in demand. So now you know, the 2001 D Liberty 1 cent isn't just pocket change. It's a piece of American history, minted during a time of economic transition and just before the dramatic redesigns of the 21st century. Whether you're a serious collector or just a curious enthusiast, Always keep an eye out for these small coins with big potential to wrap it up. The Liberty 1 cent 2001D may not seem like much at first glance. But if you understand its background, check its condition, and spot rare errors, it could turn into a valuable gem hiding in plain sight. So next time you empty your change jar, take a moment to look closely. That ordinary-looking penny might be your hidden treasure. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of coins, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you never miss a video about rare and valuable coins. Drop a comment below if you found a 2001D penny or if you want us to feature another coin in our next episode. Until next time, keep hunting, keep collecting, and remember, every coin has a story.